Get me that 6. We need more power.
Okay, now listen up. We've got another big match ahead of us, and it's time to stop all this flopping about like we're dead out there, or like we're from some other planet.
Destroy all humans.
I know you're zombies and aliens, I don't care. You've been thrown together to work as a team, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Now listen up, pansies. It takes more than brawn to capture a base. Do you know what else it takes?
Brains?
That's right, zombies. Brains. Now keep your mouth shut unless I tell you to talk. I know you're missing your jaw, zombie. We need to use some strategy out there to capture those bases and score some major points.
Destroy all humans.
I like your attitude, aliens, but you are not here to destroy all humans. You are here to win one simple game. Do you think you can get that through your melon-sized skulls?
Destroy, exterminate, exterminate.
That's what I'm talking about. There are bases out there worth a lot of points. And I know there's going to be pirates. I know there's going to be robots. And I know there's going to be dinosaurs and wizards. But you are better than all of them. You are the zombie aliens and you are unstoppable. Now let's get out there and kick some pirate, robot, dinosaur, wizard behind.
Destroy, exterminate, exterminate.
All right, let's have a quick look at Smash Up from AEG and designed by Paul Peterson. Inside the box here, we've got the rules. The rules are nicely done. They're fairly short. They're full color, glossy, and easy to understand. Inside the box now, you notice we have a lot of room for extra cards. These are for expansions, although they have now gone past the size of this box, so you'll have to pick up the Big Geeky Box now, which is just for you and all your expansions to smash up. In this version, we've got 8 different factions. We've got the Tricksters, we've got the Robots, we've got the Dinosaurs, we've got the Aliens, we've got the Ninjas, we've got 2 decks mixed together, which is the Wizards and the Zombies. Zombies. And finally, we've got the Pirates. Each deck has 20 cards in it. And to start the game, each player will choose randomly, or however you want to, choose 2 decks, shuffle them together, so that would be 40 cards, and then suddenly you have a deck worth of cards and you are ready to play. Now, how does it play? Well, you get these things called bases. Each of these bases has a number on it, and this is called the breakpoint number. Once your minions, and you'll see those in a second, their total power adds up to 20 or more on this base, then this base will be scored. And how it works is the player with the most minion power here would get 5 points, second place would get 3 points, and third place would get 2. And then plus each one has an action at the bottom that happens. Like, for example, after this base scores, the winner discards his or her hands and draws 5 cards. On the table you would have the number of players plus 1 of these bases out here. After each one scores, then it is replaced by a new card. The first player to reach 15 victory points wins the game. And of course, these are the victory points that you score each time. So you start the game with 5 cards in your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what you're going to do is, now they're all marked either minions or actions. You get to play 1 minion and 1 action during your turn. And then sometimes those minions and actions allow you to play additional minions and actions and do all kinds of crazy things. So if I decided to play the Saucy Winch on the mothership here, I would now have 3 points towards that 20. As all the players play on here, once it reaches 20 points, then this one is going to score. And whoever has the most amount of, let's say I had 3, 4, 5, 6, I had 8 points here, the next player had 4 points, the next player had whatever points. If I won, I would get this amount. If I came in second, I'd get this amount of victory points. And if I came in third, I'd get that amount of victory points. First player to get 15 victory points, well, they win the game. It's very easy to play, but there's lots of little strategies because each one of these things has something that it does. You may destroy a minion of power 2 or less at this base, for example, is one thing the pirate can do. After this base is scored, you may move this minion to another base instead of the discard pile, because normally you would discard all your dudes after something is scored, but sometimes you can save them. And it's kind of nice because they all have very different powers. So that is a quick look at how Smash Up from AEG is played.
I am not going to talk like this during this entire review because it could get very annoying. Do you understand me? Now, depending upon the type of gamer you are, you'll probably either love or hate Smash Up. I really enjoyed playing the game because of its combination of strategy and chaos. In the beginning, each player generally goes for a specific base, but it isn't long before the aggressive nature of many of the cards become irresistible and you begin to look covetously at the points on the other bases. Each faction plays very differently, and the AEG website gives the following fairly accurate description of each. Pirates move cards around the table, keeping your opponents unbalanced. Ninjas strike from the shadows and steal victories from under enemies. Zombies refuse to stay in the discard pile, continually returning to the fight. Robots churn themselves off the factory line with frightening efficiency. Dinosaurs, with lasers, bring stunning power to the fight, dwarfing their opposition. Wizards use their arcane knowledge to secure whatever cards you may need at the time, and tricksters use their mischievous nature to make life extremely difficult for opponents. Aliens change the very nature of the battle, moving enemies about and manipulating the base cards you fight for. It isn't long before you'll start establishing your favorites. My personal favorite combo was the robot-zombie combo, because I was able to get scores of minions onto the bases, get +1 power out onto everyone, and suddenly, pow, what? I was able to score a couple of bases in a single turn and win. Now that kind of thing doesn't happen all the time. I've lost with the robot zombies too. I'm particularly annoyed by the ninjas, just because they're fairly nasty to other players, and that's just not my style. If you are the type of player who likes plotting out an evolving strategy and can do it fairly quickly and have fun with it, that's the type of players who might really enjoy Smash Up. There are a couple of points, though, that might turn off other types of gamers. First off, there is a lot of adding. You will spend a lot of time adding up minions while you try to figure out, if I do this, I'll get this many points, and I'll be able to score this base. To me, it's a lot of fun, like solving a problem in order to get the most points, but some will find it tedious. The other point is the susceptibility of analysis paralysis. You can spend a lot of time looking at your cards trying to figure out your next move. Smash Up is basically a light game and really doesn't warrant all of this figuring. So if you have players who have to figure out all of their options before they actually make a move, you might not want to bring them in for a game of Smash Up. I even found myself plotting out my moves, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but if you take too long, the other players will get annoyed and bored. There's an excellent edition of Tabletop with Will Wheaton in a Season 2 where he plays a game of Smash Up. There were a few things that were obvious to me from watching that episode which I found agreed with my own observations of the game. Will had the wizards in his deck, and he took a long time to plot out his turns, so the other players went on to talk about anything else they could think of while Will was deciding what he was going to do. This was a prime example of analysis paralysis, or over-strategizing. The other thing they did that I enjoyed a lot was really get into the math aspect and have fun with it. If you hate all the adding, then this isn't your game. But watch the video and you'll see how Will's group had a good time with it. The video also made me wish that I had the special bases with the point track built in. These point trackers eliminate some of the math you have to do so that you're not constantly adding up all the minions on the bases to see how much is there, and can just concentrate on how your cards will affect those scores. You're still doing a lot of calculating, but it seemed a lot easier, and I plan on adding a few 10-siders to my future games to keep track of points at each base. I am also a fan of having a victory point tracker, or at least some tokens to keep track of everyone's score. Pen and paper is outdated in my opinion. My version of the base game had no alternative other than to keep track manually. Yes, despite these drawbacks, I thought this was an awesome game. It was simple to learn, had a lot of strategic and tactical options and variety, and played fairly quickly once all the players had a couple of games under their belt. The artwork is good looking and fun, the rules are well done, and there is room in the box to hold some expansion decks. 10 to be exact, unless you double them up, which is good because there are several expansions out for Smash Up at this time, and the Big Geeky Box just came out where you can fit everything in there. It only comes with one new faction, but you will be able to fit all of the expansions plus more into the Big Geeky Box. Thank you for joining me in this review of Smash Up from AEG. Let me know if you found this review helpful by leaving me a comment or sending me an email at Elliot_Miller@voiceofe.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Voice of E channel on YouTube, as I'll have a lot more thematic game reviews and board game giveaways, and you won't want to miss any of it. Please tell your friends to check out the Voice of E, and hopefully they will subscribe too. Thanks again. Until next time, keep your mind
Get me
free.
that 6. We need more power.